Well, there we are. We are now live. Good morning, everybody. This is Monday, January 24th. And this is I think, our fourth installment of Mondays Live at 11. Today I'm welcoming the Diva, Deborah Thorne, all the way from Los Angeles, California. So, first of all, I thank you for getting up early to join us.
Good morning, and thank you so very much. I sound kind of slovenly. It's really not that early. It's only 8, but yeah, it's early.
Well, you just never know. Some people are night people, some people are morning people. But anyway, so we started this, I don't know, it was about a month ago almost now, and we've just been interviewing different card owners. As you can see from Deborah's sign in her and behind her, she is the diva. So you can text diva to the number 21,000 to get her digital business card, and I'll even uh, throw that banner up there for her. So when I do these, I ask for a bio and a few questions that people that you want me to ask. But I also like to change things up a little bit and also do um, and kind of introduce you. I don't know the way I met you. I think, I'm not sure how you found out about us, about our digital card. It might have been in some networking group or something. I
It
don't I
had
don't
to have been
remember.
at a networking group. When you said that, I thought, oh my goodness, when? But it was the text Gabe to 21,000. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, so we
Right,
were at a
right.
networking event somewhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so that's what's so cool about, it just makes me every once in a while I just stop and think and how thankful I am about how this whole craziness, this crazy pandemic thing, although it was a killer for a lot of businesses, it really unlocked a lot of businesses as well. And the people that can work nationally and the people who are nationwide, and the people who are or who network, who can network with their business, that really unleashed a lot of people, and I'm one of them, and I imagine you are as well. Well, again, we've been connected now for what? It's might be a year. It's
It's over a year. It's
over a
more
year.
like 2 years. Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and I just remembered the networking event. I won't call the name that we're at, and I stopped going to that and started going to your networking event because it was more like I am, where
Right,
people
right.
were
I think I
wanting
know
to
what
help
you
each other and not just out there to sell, sell, sell.
right. I think I know what you're talking about, and I dropped out of that one too. But yeah, so wow. I mean, and it's just so I'm very very thankful on how um how how the technology has brought us together. I'm doing it. We just did a collaboration forum a few days ago, and Deborah and I were in the same room, um that's something that you can check our website out if um if you want to sign up for the next one. But the thing that I really liked about that was again, it was just people getting together, people helping each other out, people from all over the country, and there a lot of these folks, I'm now considering friends of mine, as even though I've some of them might live close to me, and I've still never seen them in person. um, but and I know so many people now. It's just great. I'm really really happy with it. But and one of my new things is using technology to leverage your business. That's what I'll be speaking at the next one. And I don't like technology for the sake of it. For just spinning blue things. I don't like that. But if there's technology has so much power to help you. But anyway, so this is supposed to be where I interview you, and I'm blathering on in the
No, it's
beginning.
okay. It's okay. Yes. And I
um,
just have to say, you said you were going to leverage business. Leverage is my word. So I love that.
right.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So, and we're gonna definitely get into that. So I guess we've known. Well, the pandemic was in March of 2020,
Yeah. And
and
we were, yeah.
so it was probably shortly after that. So almost 2 years. So that's something. And all I've found from in my impression of Deborah is that she's very extremely knowledgeable. I'm always happy when she joins one of our events, because that's she talks a lot about butts and seats for her different events, but I really appreciate having, I don't know if that's, I won't say it. You get where I'm going that about her. So I won't even say it, but it's a little inappropriate, but at the same time, I always appreciate having her with us. And now I'll read her formal bio supplied by her. So Deborah Thorne is the information diva. She's an award winning, internationally known author, coach, trainer, speaker, and the proud host of the Leverage Conference for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs in its fourth year, happening in November 10th to 12th, 2022. So, well, let's just get into it. Tell us about this leverage conference. I really want, I think I've asked you about it before, and I'm not sure why I didn't attend it last time, but it's something. See if you can get me to understand exactly what it
What we're
is.
doing. Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Gabe, and welcome everybody. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay, so the Leverage Conference for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs, as you said, is in its fourth year. Really proud of that. Excuse me, we're completely virtual, and our job is to help you forget that you're sitting on a Zoom, and we work really hard to do that. We define the word leverage as networking plus collaboration equals opportunity, and that's leverage. Our desire is to give information and opportunity to speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs. We have wonderful speakers who come, and our speaking is like in three categories. We have the people who come to teach you how to do something, how to podcast, how to do a blog, things that will help speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs with their businesses. We also have a thing called our thought leaders, and these are people who want you to think a little differently or expand your thinking. And our conference is primarily women, although we have some wonderful men who attend as well. And one of the things we do with our thought leaders is we have the thought leaders roundtable, and we discuss the things that you're not supposed to talk about in public. So, for instance, last year's conference, the topic at the thought leader roundtable was the pandemic and politics, to vaccinate or not to vaccinate.
Right.
And everybody knows that that's probably one of, if not the hottest topic in our
Right.
country. And here
Mm-hmm.
we had women able to express their opinions and provide their experience in a safe place. And the idea being that we get to know more about each other and get to know how other people are actually thinking without them having to defend it. And so a lot of information was passed back and forth, and that's great. And then on Saturday, the final day of the conference, we have our masters, and these are people who are generating 6 and 7 figures from their business endeavors, and we have them come in and talk about what it takes to make that kind of stuff happen. So I'm like really proud of it. It will always be virtual because we had people attend from all across the United States, from
Mm-hmm.
Canada, from the UK, and the Philippines. So we're not changing.
Wow, wow. So, and again, that whole virtual thing is just, I mean, I think everything's virtual now for me permanently. I mean, I don't. We have a car that's actually, we bought it when my daughter was born,
Okay.
and she's 23 now,
I was gonna say, didn't she
and
just graduate from college? Yes.
exactly, exactly. Well, we bought that because I had a convertible, so I had to give up my convertible. So, but
Okay.
anyway, so we had that car then, and it's still running. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it. There's no reason to get another car, because guess what? If I could figure out a way to get the dog to daycare without without taking him myself, then I would. I mean, it's just a really kind of amazing how this whole thing has really shifted everything in society. So now virtual makes much more sense. But getting back to your conference, so
Mhm.
it's interesting you mentioned what that one thing, that the hot flashpoint of discussion I was talking with a Canadian um, last week, and I feel that they're safe to talk to because they're kind of outside of it.
Okay.
So because I don't ever bring up stuff like that, one way or another. I just never do. And but we kind of sort of got into it, and he said, "Man, you guys are something." He goes, "We, we have he said he was a liberal, but he was again, but he didn't like his prime minister, right?
Okay.
And because the prime minister up there is liberal right now, and he said, so sometimes we don't always think everything one way, and we don't always hate the person who's on the other side, and just kind of the way things have developed around here in the states is that it's just gotten crazy how people will, he said, well, why don't you guys can't even have a discussion. And it's true because it's just that's why I don't get into it.
I know
um
it is, to me it is so sad because we always had the two-party system. One group is happy one time and then the next group gets to be happy. But
right,
to have this bitterness, this ugliness, that's
right,
what we're fighting against. That's why we encourage the women to talk. That's why we have the tough discussion, because we make it really plain. Two things you're going to talk about: your experience and your opinion. Nobody can argue with those things. All I can do is learn from you.
right.
And so far, it's worked really well. And people have really expressed an opinion. You go like, ooh wee. But I get a better understanding of how you got there. It's like,
Right.
oh,
But but
you
but but
really
you know
think
that
that way.
that the media on both sides is very one way, and it's because and it all started when the news media started making money from what they were doing. Well, if I'm going to make money, then I'm going to express it in a way that's going to make me more money, right?
Right.
So, and then from on the left side, and I'm not going to get into this too deeply because I really
Hmm.
don't want to. But on the left side, you've got one angle, and then the right side, you've got another angle. They're extremely disparate, and a lot of it's not true on both sides, right? So when you and then it gets to be on, and when you keep going on the extreme both sides, then you get just craziness
Absolute
where people say
insanity.
people say like the
The
Capitol
Martians
riot.
are doing it.
Right, right,
Right.
exactly, that kind of stuff. So when somebody gets on a level plane like that, how does that discussion go? I mean, how can you
Well,
argue with something like
here's
that?
the challenge, okay? Then there are the people who say, "Oh, well, I don't watch the news because it's so biased."
Right,
Okay,
right,
now you really have a problem because now you're ignorant. You don't know what's going on at all, and that's a problem, okay?
right.
So, those of us who, and I am a news junkie. Oh my goodness. I love the news, but the last few years it had gotten so out of whack, it was
Right.
messing with my mental health. And I said,
Exactly.
"No, step away
Yep.
from it."
Yep. Mhm.
But those of us who consider ourselves sane have to figure out a way, because we have to have a conversation. That's what this country was built on: different ideas. And it's okay. I don't have
Mhm.
to agree with you. You know what? I don't have to agree with you at all. I
Right.
just have to respect you and
Right.
respect that, ooh, that opinion is different than mine. And my question generally is, help me understand why you believe such and such. And then I'm
Mhm.
turning the floor over to you. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Because
Right.
I really want to know. We have gotten things so out of whack that even a question like that makes people angry. Well, why you want to know? Because I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right. Yeah. It's
it is
crazy.
what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So okay, so you do have speakers, and they
Yes.
is there any interaction, kind of like we do in the collaboration forum, or you mentioned
Uh,
it's networking and
Okay,
um.
yes, networking and collaboration. Absolutely. So the speakers get an opportunity to present their topic
Mhm.
uninterrupted. We let them talk.
Right.
And if they have a little time, they'll do question and answer. But what we do at the end, because there's absolutely no selling from the main stage,
Right.
you
Right.
didn't come there to be sold to.
Right.
But then we have breakout rooms, and different people can choose to go to a speaker's breakout room, learn more about them, ask questions, find out what programs they have if you're interested in participating. That's how we do it. And that works out really well because it gives the chance for the interaction. And then we actually have some networking times where the members who are attending can then talk to other people who are attending. I remind people that when we went to conferences in person, you did not sit in your seat the whole time. Now
Hmm.
the program started 6 o'clock in the morning, ended at midnight. You didn't sit
Hmm.
there the whole time. You got up, you walked out, you
Right,
met
right,
people.
right.
Well, we encourage that kind of behavior. Hey, get up, take a break if you need it, do what you need to do. And that has worked really well. People have thanked us for giving them permission to get up out of the seat. Oh my goodness, please do.
It would
Choose
be
who you.
great if we could figure out a way how we could sell them food
Oh,
in an
you know what?
intermission.
Our first year virtually, we provided meals. We did. And there is
And
a way
yeah,
to
yeah, I remember
provide
you
the
saying that
meal.
now. And tell me
Yes.
tell me how that worked.
Okay, well, we have a system, I'm all about using systems. We have a system that allowed us to send people gift cards to their favorite restaurants. And then they had the choice of ordering the food and having it delivered during the lunchtime or saving the card and going later. We took it
Wow.
out this last time, and I'm not sure committee is on it whether or not we put it back in because I wanted to see what happened. Without the cards, we had a shorter lunch period and could get back to what we were doing.
Right, right,
And then people register late and they don't get their cards in time. So it's that kind of
right.
stuff,
Yeah.
because you have to wait
No,
for them to be
that's
delivered.
still pretty innovative. I think that's a
Yeah.
pretty cool,
Well, we
thing
still
to
do
do.
snacks. We send them snacks. We want to keep the energy going, so
Mhm.
we have a happy hour. We are sure that they have snacks for happy hour. We have a DJ during happy hour. We had a oh gosh, what do you call scavenger hunt? We have fun, but we do a lot
Mhm.
of learning, a lot of
Wow.
interacting.
So what are the hours? How long is it?
It runs from like 9 in the morning. Okay, let me think. Okay, Pacific time because we had to adjust things. So 8 o'clock Pacific time to 6 o'clock. So
Okay.
Pacific time, and then we have
And
people
that's 2
adjust.
days?
It's 3 days. It's
3 days.
October
Wow.
10th, 11th, and 12th. Not
Okay.
October, excuse me, November 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Very good. So, do you have a link, where we can send people?
Absolutely. You want to go to theleverageconference.info.info. So
Mhm.
theleverageconference.info.
Okay. Well, it sounds awesome. It sounds, and the one thing that I love telling this story is that, I never did. You were the one who told me I have to get out my digital card stuff. I never did my sponsored by Digital Accelerant yet. But one thing that we do at Digital Accelerant is we have these weekly power hours, which is basically a kind of a mini version, kind of sort of what you just spoke about. But a speaker will speak for only about 5 to 10 minutes, and that sets the tone of the meeting. And then they lead the discussion about that topic, whether it be sales strategies, LinkedIn, Facebook ads, or whatever it is. So we have a different speaker, hopefully a different speaker every week, and that has kind of evolved into something that has been extremely beneficial for those who attend. And your speech was about a month or so ago, and you mentioned using the event to augment your business, and when it just kind of got us thinking, maybe how can we do that? So we created the collaboration forum because of that, and we just had it last Tuesday. I think it was last Tuesday,
Mhm.
if not the week before that. Um, but it was incredibly successful, and now we have them every month. So yeah, so I'm always grateful to you for that. But that's really what it's all about. Is what things should be like, what networking should be like, instead of let's see, how much can I get from this person? How much can I
The
tell
one
them
I
today?
like, I
Go
heard a
ahead.
speaker say one time, how many of you came here to tell people about your widget or service?
Right.
And everybody
Right.
raised their hand. And
Yeah.
she said, okay, how many of you came here to buy somebody's
Right, right.
service?
Yeah,
No
nobody.
hands. Okay. And that's what we, okay. Okay. I love this. Okay. I'm talking and the computer wants to help me. I don't need the help. Thank you very much. Let me close him down. Okay. Sorry
Mhm.
about that. But,
That's okay.
people come to networking events to get to make connections, to learn what other people are doing. And occasionally you might spend some money, but if we just go to a networking event trying to push our widget or service, that's not what it's about. For me, it's about building relationships and finding out, if nothing else, who else might be a speaker at the next conference or
Right,
who has a program or something I need to learn from. That's
right.
for me what it's about.
No, and again, that's really kind of what it should be about, and, and when it becomes that way, you do have these people that, um, become friends, and you look forward to the meetings because you're so well entrenched in that group, and yeah, you get business from it. I mean, really, I mean, it's something that, right now, I'm in a group called M3 Linked, and I get a ton of business from it. But it's not because I'm sitting there bugging people to buy my digital cards. It's because you know me. I'm more about how can I add value to what I do? How can I provide a service that will get this person more business? So yeah, I think that's really kind of the way it just seems to me, at least the one. What I do is I get out of the ones that are like the people that are there just to sell. So I drop
Yeah,
those, and because before I would keep going back to them, and I would hit my head against the wall when I was done with it.
trying to
And
make them change. Yes.
right, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense, for me, you and I have been talking before about this is the way I network. I work with about 7 different groups that I attend regularly. And
Hmm.
so I know what those groups are doing in real life when we were doing things in person. There's no way I could attend that many networking events. Okay, it wasn't
Right.
cost or time effective. You get up in the morning going to a networking event, you got to drive there. Here in Los
Yep.
Angeles, you have to
Hmm.
pay a car note to park your car, you have to pay
Hmm.
for the meal belong to the organization. And it took time away. If the organization wasn't close by, that's a whole day and I didn't get any work done. So
Right.
now I've attended as many as 4 in one day and still was able to get some work done. So
Yep.
this is
Yep.
the way I'm going to be
It
doing it.
absolutely it's just awesome. So I wanted to ask you a couple more questions because I know
Sure.
you have a certain way of doing things, and I know that one of them is that you have um, a number of domain names. I saw one this morning, and it's the Diva recommends it.info.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So one of the things that I've learned is that people, look to domains, you know, my Zoom room, for instance. I don't have a domain with it, but I use my phone number. Things have to be simple for people.
Right.
That's how we're wired. Nobody wants to work hard. And so, yeah, I kind of made a habit of collecting domain names. And as I was sharing with you, I'm meeting with my webmaster today because some of them are not being used and I need to use them. But the
Mhm.
Diva recommends it as an example. It's an event that is not my event, it's someone else's event that I help to promote, and
Right.
the Diva recommends it. Let people go take a look. If
Hmm.
somebody else was having something, I could connect thing to it. And
Right.
it's just another strategy. I think that if people understood what systems and strategies we have at our fingertips to put in place relatively inexpensively, that's what helps promote business and helps us to go forward.
Hmm. So how many of those domains do you think you have?
I do know. Wait. It's 25 to a page, and I went to the next page, 26.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so give me a few other examples.
Okay, so I have the informationdiva.com, the
Right.
informationdivaonline.com. There's an interesting story about that. Let me digress a little
Mm,
bit. When I became the information diva in the early 2000s, the informationdiva.com was taken. Then you check in on it
right.
periodically, and the person who had it no longer had it, but somebody offered to sell it to me for $5,000. Yeah,
Right.
right, not me. Okay, and I
Right.
let it go. When I was renewing the information diva online.com, I happened to check the information diva. Not only was it available, I got it at a discount. So you hang in there, you guys, if there's something you want or
Mhm.
need.
Right.
What else do I have? Okay, the Diva recommends it. I have the Handbag Academy, which is my book publishing arm. I have the CEO Academy, because I teach people to do business like a woman, not like a man. CEO, not CEO. Oh, here's another good one. And you know what? Anybody who's listening to this, you'll like
Mhm.
this one, and always limited. So the first five people who respond to this,
Right. Right.
Diva, I hyphen want brownies.com. I'll send you brownies. So it's Diva hyphen I want brownies.com. So yeah, you can get some
Mhm.
brownies from me if you
That's
if you
funny.
respond to
That's
that.
awesome.
And those are
Um,
like what come to mind, because again, it's making it easy for people to do business with you. Now, as far as the excuse me, the digital business card, like you said, over my shoulder, it
mhm.
says text Diva to 21,000. I
Right.
can't tell you how many times people do that. I'm in a meeting of some sort. I don't even say anything about it. It's over my
Mhm.
shoulder, and
Right.
people are nosy. So they go and check it
Mhm.
out. And I'm like, yay, okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I think it's a really good keyword that you have, obviously. It's easy
Well,
to remember. I
you
mean, yeah.
helped me do it. So thank you.
Oh, that's I don't even remember I don't even remember doing that. I wouldn't have set it up if that way if I had remembered that. I thought that was that was you're doing, but that's pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, but I wanted to also talk to you about in related to the domain name, since I like to
Mhm.
talk about technology. I noticed somewhere you're using bit.ly, you're using a URL shortener, and you do that from time to time. Everybody does that. Did you know you
Mhm.
can get your own URL shortener?
No, I didn't.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, you
So,
know what? Somebody I think shared it tell me about it. Yeah.
okay,
Tell
so
me.
we have one for our card owners. So if you go to dabc.io slash
Mhm.
diva, you'll get your
Okay.
card.
Okay.
It's D,
Give that
it's
to me again, please.
okay. It's DABC Digital
Mm.
Accelerant Business Card
Uh-huh.
dot io
Okay.
slash diva.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And that
know that. I
yeah,
didn't know that.
that goes to your card. And of course so everybody all the digital card owners have their keyword that all they have to do is preference that and so they can send that out at will, because it's hard to, like, where's my a lot of people don't know where their link is or whatever, and so it's doing that. But so you can do that. I actually have two. The first one I got was DIAAC, Digital
Mhm.
Accelerant, so diac.io. And then I
Okay.
thought, well, DIAC, and I said DABC, like Digital Accelerant Business Card. DABC was even easier to remember. So
Absolutely.
I kept the first one. Um, but it's great because no, I mean, you can use it for anything. So if you had diva.io, right,
Mhm.
slash anything you want,
Right.
and
Okay.
every time you added something, it doesn't cost you anything, right?
Interesting. Okay.
And so the only thing that it costs you is paying for the domain.
Mhm.
Um, you have to buy the dabc.io or whatever, and you don't even
Okay.
have to pay for hosting. You're just doing that. It's I did it through a company called short.io.
Oh, okay.
uh, and and yeah, so and there's another one that I did it with, but I forget why it didn't work. But there's no, I've been happy with short.io, and that's just something else that you, so if diva.io is, and the reason why it's IO, those are technical things you can do. There's other ones, you got to be careful because there are other two-digit extensions
Right.
or
Right.
two-letter extensions, and some of them, like, one of them goes to Iran or something like that,
Yeah.
and that's like, yeah, 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 there are a couple that have bad reputations, but
Right.
IO, is for the techies, and since I'm
Okay.
a kind of a techie, that works for me, so
Okay.
anyway.
Okay, interesting. I'll take a look at it because that's the whole idea. One of the reasons I enjoy networking with you is that somebody always has a piece of information. You go, "Oh, I didn't know that," and
Mhm.
being the information diva, I want to know all kind of little bitty things that work. So
There we
yeah,
go. And we also said we're gonna talk about StreamYard real quick.
okay, sure,
Um, that's the platform that we use here to stream our Mondays Live at 11, and how I love telling this story, how this came about was, again, we were on our power hour, and we were talking about different streaming platforms, and streaming was not on my radar. I'm
okay,
not the kind of guy, I'm out there jogging, I'm going, "Hey, I'm gonna this Gabe again." That's I'm
yes,
not gonna do that. So, but then we were talking about it, and we said, and it just seemed like, wow, this is really accessible to me because I didn't want to have to go figure it out. But it didn't seem like, from okay, you just get StreamYard, it automatically connects to your LinkedIn. You don't even have to edit the videos; they just go there. And I thought, um, yeah, that sounds like something that maybe I should at least look into it. So I did the test version of it. I was hooked up to my LinkedIn almost immediately, and I did a test thing, and it just went out to all three platforms. And I said, "Well, I think this is pretty cool." And then the value is not just using it for me, not just saying, "Hey, here's my weight this day today or whatever." Um, it's offering the ability to interview a different card owner every week. So, what have you used it for?
I use it as the base for our podcast, Let's Talk Leverage.
Hmm.
And we, I'm looking at how clean yours is with just the logo. We've got all kind of things rolling through ours because you have the ability to do that. And, I'm a big Canva girl. So,
Right,
I use Canva to do a countdown clock and all kinds of good things that you can play with, and I always get it wrong, with StreamYard, get it the right way
right,
today.
right,
Um, but yeah, there's just all kinds of things you can play. And as I try to encourage people, just use it. No one expects you to be perfect. You're not a television
right,
station, but you can act like a television show. After all, your Mondays live at 11.
right,
Things that people can remember. And, after you get really good, not good at, when you get really set on doing this, you might want Mondays live at 11.com. Okay. Just
okay,
saying. Just saying, because once again, it helps people to understand what you're doing and helps them to remember. It just, yeah,
interesting,
makes it good.
hold on, I'm gonna write that one down, 'cause that's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
and so so if I did that,
Hmm.
I did Mondays Live at 11.com, what would I see if I went there? Just the
Well,
I
you don't
mean,
know what you set it up to do. I would probably suggest, I don't know if you're putting your live streams on YouTube
yep,
and create. Okay, so I would direct that domain to the YouTube where you're collecting these videos,
okay,
to that
okay,
page. If
yeah,
you
that
go
makes
to my
sense.
YouTube channel, mine looks like it is. It's called the Information Diva Network.
Right,
And so different playlists are different things I'm doing.
I gotcha.
And you can connect the URL to a specific playlist. And so,
Mhm,
they just go over there. We can be all that a television show or television station can be. All we gotta do is think it through a little bit more. And that's what I'm always telling people. I have another program that I'm involved with where we do business cards, and then people, not business cards, greeting cards. And people are looking at, I go, think in terms of, it's not a greeting card, it's a an open 4 panel piece of information that you're giving
Mhm.
to someone. And you can
Mhm.
put anything on it. Don't be limited thinking it needs to say happy birthday.
Right,
It could
right,
be you could send out cards that had the whole schedule for Mondays at 11, what people should go back and recap or whatever.
right.
We just have to think in terms of what can we do with what we have and how do we do it bigger and better. And I'm always thinking, what other way can you use something?
Mhm. So this is kind of funny. I'm just kind of realizing that I've only done this what 4 times, whatever.
Okay.
My wife is so much better at striking up conversation than I am. So I always
Uh-huh.
get nervous. Am I going? What happens if they don't talk very much and all that? And so so I'm always worried that where I always kind of in the beginning I said, oh, it's 10 after we got one other, you know. And now we're almost done, and there's like questions I haven't even asked you yet. So
Okay.
that's but that I guess that's the guess too, right?
Yeah. Well,
But anyway,
and yeah,
so
I'm a talkative guest. So yes,
but
I'll
that's
take that.
good. You can come back anytime you want.
Well, thank you.
um, so we'll probably go a little bit over here because I do want to know about this stuff. So well, you spoke about client acquisition, retention, and appreciation,
Right.
and of course, the question is why is that important? Of course that's important. Client acquisition, retention, and appreciation is paramount to having a business, right? So, what are ways that you suggest people do it, or how do you do that?
Well, yeah, see, that's the problem. It sounds like we should be doing it, but most people aren't. If we're honest with ourselves, our customers hear from us when they owe us money. We send them
Right,
a note saying, "Hey, you owe me money." But do you ever remember that other things are happening? And you think about it, if all you get from someone is a bill, you have no loyalty to them.
right, right,
And it costs you more to get a new customer than it does to retain a customer.
right,
And I have a program that I do work, system that I use to stay in touch with people. I use it for follow up. We use a lot of direct mail. And so I'm like really encouraging people to think outside the box. What can you send or do to make your customers feel special? And I work at that a lot. How does even down to things like the signs over my shoulder, they come from that company, and it just makes life a whole lot better. If somebody is really interested, they can definitely text Diva to 21,000 and get on
there
my
you go.
calendar, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about what I'm doing, why it works, why I think it might help you.
Very good. Is it kind of like send out cards, or is that what it is?
It's kinda like, but it's
Right,
not, and
right.
one of the things you'll never hear me promote anybody else's business. If I give the company name, I'm promoting that business. I'm an
I
affiliate
got
for
you.
that company, so
I
come
got you.
talk to me and we can have a conversation about it, no problem.
Gotcha. And that's a recommendation for other people too. Uh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
I don't even wear other people's clothing. We don't wear labels. Any label I'm going to wear is the information, Diva. That's it.
Hmm. Right.
Even when I'm promoting someone else's, do you remember that the URL was the Diva recommends it?
Right.
Not that person's, because
Right.
I'm
Right.
sending this out to my folks. I'm going to
Right.
give you my mailing list. No, I don't
Right.
think so. So, yeah,
Right. No, and that just goes along with branding, right? I mean,
absolutely.
it's just being loyal to
The
your own
Diva.
brand.
That's
Right.
it.
Absolutely. Pretty brilliant actually.
Well, thank you.
What else is on here that I wanted to? Okay. Oh, yeah. So another thing that I know that you have is the
Mhm.
birthday circle, and I know
Yes, I do.
that you're always asking people for their birthdays.
Yeah, and
Um,
I went to mail you something this weekend and realized I didn't have yours. So I'm gonna try one more time.
well, you know what? I'm one of those people that I don't know. I don't give out my birthday. Not because of people stealing my stuff, but I don't give out my birthday period because I just don't. I don't like the fanfare that everybody's on Facebook and oh,
Oh,
thank
we
you, all
won't.
the
I
all that kind of
promise not to do that. If you
well, I know,
don't
but
want
it's
your birthday on there, don't fill that piece in. But I was trying to mail something to you, and I didn't have your mailing address. And I said, I'm gonna try one more time. So I'm gonna try one more time. But my birthday circle is here's the deal. You remember we were talking a moment ago about if all people ever hear from you is here's how we contact people. We work with them to get them to buy something from us, and then we ask them to buy again. We tell them whenever we're having a sale, we send them coupons or whatever, and we think we're
right,
staying in touch. But all they heard was spend money, spend money, spend money.
right,
Everybody has a birthday. Some people are willing to share, some aren't. You have to respect
right,
that.
right. Mhm.
But that's at least one time a year that you're reaching out to your customer and you're not asking for anything. I
Right.
actually do it twice a year. I send out a birthday and a half birthday card.
Mhm.
And they just go out automatically once they're set up in the system. And it's really interesting because never does a week go by that I don't get a text message, a call, or a note saying thank you for the card. And I kind of chuckle because I don't remember, I had originally set it up, but it's off and gone. And some closer friends or bigger clients get gifts from me periodically just to
Right.
stay in touch, just to let them know that you appreciate them. And, someone said to me once, well, how do you make money sending gifts to people? Well, you start by thinking about how much is a client worth to you,
Right.
If you think
Exactly.
in terms of how they spend, are you willing to spend a portion of that back to keep them happy, to keep them loyal, to have them talk
Mhm.
about you among their friends? Much
Mhm.
easier to retain a client than it is to acquire a new one. Much cheaper.
Right. Right. Interesting. So, the way that you do it primarily is you have their address, so you physically mail them something, right? Is that
They
is that
they visit.
the
Go ahead.
major portion of it?
That's a big portion of it. Yeah, they get a birthday card and at the very least a birthday card and a half birthday card. So that's twice a year.
Mhm.
But the company that I'm with, we also send free postcards. So I do a lot of marketing via postcard. You know,
Okay.
uh, anything that's going on. Here's a postcard about it. All I'm paying is the postage on that.
Right.
I've got a number of cards I send at no cost. Yeah, just a lot of things. We have nice gifts. Christmas
Mhm.
time, my clients were happy because they all got gifts from me.
Mhm.
Just, how do you make your clients feel special? How do I make them feel special about me so that, if nothing else, they post on Facebook, oh, look what, the diva sent me. And
Right.
it goes a long way. You need people talking about you when you're in business.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and I think so I haven't done that yet. And I've kind of I know that it's kind of been on my radar.
Okay.
But because one of the frustrating things for me is that when I send emails and then I'll say one of my clients will and most of my emails to my clients, I'm not trying to sell
Mhm.
them anything, right?
Right,
I mean, it's mostly talking about the upcoming events that they have the
right,
ability to take advantage of, and I
right.
tell them, "Oh, this is what happened in the last event. You don't wanna miss it because it's really, really good." And then Yvette said Yvette came to our power hour for the first time last week, and she'd
Mm.
been with me as long as you have for
And she said, "Oh, yeah," something about, "Oh, I didn't know," or I guess I missed that email.
Yeah,
Here's the
no, it wasn't only that, it was she knew about them. She didn't read she doesn't read my emails. That's the problem. She just lets them go, but she said when she got there, she said, "Oh my gosh, this is like I never had dessert before, and now I'm eating dessert for the first time." She loved it. So my that's my strength my problem is either they're not reading the email or the emails don't get to them because 'cause I've had other clients say, "I never got anything from you." So that
Well,
is
that's
so frustrating for
because
me.
yeah, that's because it went into their spam. You weren't whitelisted. There's so many
Right.
things, and that's part of the challenge. How many emails do each of us get every day? I don't read
Mhm.
email till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's
Right.
by design so that it doesn't disrupt my day. But I
Right.
have missed some things because I didn't read it till the end of the day. Well,
Mhm.
and that's a choice of mine. What we
Right.
have found though that when I send a box to somebody, I get a 100% open rate. Oh, they'll open the box.
Mhm.
Maybe at the card 75% of the time, but a
Right.
box, if I
Yeah,
send you some
absolutely.
brownies, people open it.
Oh, yeah, 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 they're getting open.
Yes, they
Yeah,
get open.
I have one of my clients actually came to my house twice and gave me, like, a wrapped gift. I mean, and she
Okay.
spent some money on that's so she actually physically delivered it to my house. So, text hostage to 21,000, give her some business because that was pretty awesome. Um, so yeah, I think that's something that, I think we should all look into. But I'm wondering if maybe because the software's pretty soon gonna allow people to text people back, I'm wondering if texting everybody, not as often as I send emails, but if I text people once a month, my clients at least, I mean, get into it. Do you do any of those text marketing campaigns?
Yeah, I think that it has to be a combination of everything, and you have to figure out what you're gonna text. Because I know I'm starting to get junk texts. Okay,
Right.
I'll get texts that I don't know who they're from, and I just usually type, "Who is this?"
Mhm.
And they don't respond back. Okay, so that means that you don't know me and some kind of how you got my phone number. My phone number's around. So
Right.
um again, we're gonna be fighting with that, people bombarded with text
Mhm.
messages and too much of it because you and I will do it the right way, but somebody else will text them I've had that where somebody set me up and I'm getting a text every hour or hour and a half. And it's like, oh, don't do
Right,
that. You
yeah.
don't know me like
No.
that at all.
Right.
So we're going to have to be wise, but as such, we have to have more than one thing. So, I do email, I do some text. Like we did text before the conference. We remind you that the conference
Right,
starting in a
right.
half hour, an
Yeah.
hour. We
Uh-huh.
do that. We do email, we do text. I do, the cards, direct mail. There was another one, something because I had four things. But yeah, we just have to how are you going to stay out in front of people? Everybody is being bombarded by everybody else. Every time something new happens, people are doing it. And the idea is, how do I stand out? How do I make people want to know what I'm doing? I do old fashioned mail like via MailChimp or constant
Mhm.
contact kind of mail
Right.
because I like pretty mail. So I send pretty
Mhm.
mail to
Mhm.
people. Some people open the pretty stuff, it'll be the exact same thing in the plain format. They don't want that. They'll open the pretty stuff. I don't
Right,
care.
right.
I just want you to open it and look at it. So,
Mhm.
that's how people
Right,
are.
right. Very good. All right, well, I think we've solved a bunch of world problems here today,
Yes, we have.
and I really appreciate you coming on. And again, it's where is my, banner here for the Diva? Yeah, Deborah Thorne, the information diva. Text diva to 21,000 to get your digital business card. I appreciate you. I'm always excited when you come to our events because you really add a
Thank
lot.
you.
And
Thank you.
we will see everybody next week. Should probably know who's coming up, but doesn't come to my mind just yet. It's
Okay.
okay. I'll get good at this some one of these days.
We're
So
all learning. We're all learning, and it's
right,
okay.
right. All right.
Done
So
is better than perfect anytime.
right,
So
right.
you got it
Yes,
done.
and with that, we're done.
There we go.
All right.